there was competition among states. There were competition among private entities to get this equipment. The federal government was trying to buy it. I'm bidding on behalf of New York. We're bidding against other states, Texas, California, other states across the country are trying to buy the same masks from the same vendor. We literally wound up bidding up the price. Have people in China. I'm trying to contact people in China who can figure out how to buy masks from China. It was totally inefficient and ineffective. State of Massachusetts, Governor Baker was good enough to work with Robert Kraft, who had a personal airplane that he sent to China to get masks. And Massachusetts was good enough to give us some of the masks that a private airplane picked up. I mean, this is not the way to deal with this situation, right? Plus, we just drove up prices by our own competition. There was a limited supply. It was primarily in China. And then you have 50 states and all these private entities and the federal government trying to buy from China. It made no sense. So let's fix that. New York State alone buys about $2 billion of medical supplies this year. $2 billion this year. And that's one state. And that's us purchasing from China and around the world. We're going to form a consortium with our 7 Northeast partner states, which buy about $5 billion worth of equipment and supplies. That will then increase our market power when we're buying. And we will buy as a consortium, price as a consortium for PPE equipment, ventilators, medical equipment, whatever we need to buy when you put all those hospitals together, all that public health capacity together, which will make us more competitive in the international marketplace. And I believe it will save taxpayers money. I also believe it'll help us actually get the equipment, because we have trouble still getting the equipment and just buying the equipment, because these vendors on the other side, they're dealing with countries, they're dealing with the federal government. Why should they do business with one state, right, when they can do business with an entire country? So this consortium, I think, will help us get the equipment and get it at a better price. We will come up with a regional identification of all the equipment we need. Basically, it's all standard equipment. A mask is a mask, a gown is a gown. Let's come up with a total amount that we need. Let's stop doing business with vendors who we found to be irresponsible, and we found out the hard way. I can't tell you how many orders we placed with vendors who were acting basically as brokers, who just started businesses in the middle of this pandemic because they saw an opportunity. So let's compare notes among the states to find out who was good to do business, who was not good to do business with. Let's see if we can't do the purchasing in this country, and let's see if we can't do the purchasing in this region. You know, why are we buying all this material from China? Literally billions of dollars of PPE. And we'll do it in coordination with the federal government.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.